You thought you'd be a heck of a lot further along in life than you are right now. And it hurts when you think about it. I remember speaking to a client once who, before we started working together, she just used to lie in bed really feeling quite low, feeling quite depressed about the fact that she wasn't where she thought she'd be. Because, it's a bit like my story, really, where I was a pharmacist. I really thought that I was going to be changing the world and doing all kinds of major, amazing things by the time I got to about 25 or something. But actually, I wasn't. If anything, I was getting deeper and deeper into debt. And I was just a pharmacist. And yeah, I know pharmacist sounds good. And I'm quite thankful for the fact that my parents forced me to do this. But at the same time, it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be in business. I wanted to change the world in some way. And I wasn't anywhere near that. I was working 60, 80 hours trying to make ends meet. I was giving up on my ideas, giving up on my dreams because it just didn't seem practical. It didn't seem reasonable, especially since I had all of this debt that I needed to sort out. So I understand what that's like. But this is the thing. There were all kinds of things stopping me, and there's all kinds of things stopping you. And I'm going to mention 3 things here. Number 1 is self-doubt. The reason why I stayed stuck doing the things that I didn't want to do was because I really doubted my ability to do things that I did want to do. I wanted to start in business, but as soon as it got difficult, I would quit. I would go back to working a job because at least a job I understood how it worked. So my doubt about my ability to create the life that I wanted meant that I stayed stuck doing things that I didn't want to do. The fact that I'd created so much debt as well that I couldn't even completely understand where it had come from meant also that I doubted myself. So the mistakes that I'd made meant again that I was doubting myself even further. Is that happening to you? Number 2, limiting beliefs. There was a part of me that thought people like me don't get to live that kind of a life. There was a part of me that thought maybe people of my color. I don't really always operate on the color thing, but I know that for a lot of people, color is a big issue for them. You tell yourself that because you're a certain color, you can't do certain things. You can't change your color, so you're automatically eliminating yourself from the race. You tell yourself the world is a hostile place and it's out to get you. And so then you feel like you have to fight for every single thing. And so the whole idea of pursuing a vision or a dream seems frivolous and stupid. There's all kinds of different limiting beliefs that people have. Maybe you even think the divine doesn't want you to succeed. All kinds of weird and wonderful, they're not wonderful actually, limiting beliefs that people have that keep them stuck in a situation that they don't want. But you don't always look at those when you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, this is not where I thought I would be. The final thing here is, you're way too enamored with the physical reality. We're spiritual people in this community, okay? We know that actually we create life from within, that we can pray a thing into life, we can decree a thing into life. We know that if we can see it, we can create it. And yet we know that logically, and yet so many people, so many spiritual people end up just reacting to whatever is happening in the physical reality, which then eats at their confidence some more, which makes them even more full of self-doubt. Their self-belief is at an all-time low because they're just reacting to what has come before, and they keep creating the same patterns over and over again instead of creating. You have to stop reacting and start creating the life that you want, my love. And these things and more are why you are not quite where you want to be in your life. The question is, are you ready to do something about it? Because you know what? I talked a good game until I hit bankruptcy, until I got to the bottom and I finally surrendered to my vision. Are you at that point yet? Because if you are, I can support you. Come and change your life. Really. I know that sounds like such a big thing, but my life has changed because I changed what I was immersing myself in. I changed who I was hanging out with. I changed what I was believing about myself. Much amazing love.